You
Good
ready?
good evening, everyone. Glad to see everybody on. Come on in. Let me know that you can see me and you can hear. Let's start right there. I want to make sure y'all can see me and that you all are able to hear me. Just type in the chat if you can hear me good, you can see me good. Hello, Sister Cassandra. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me all right? Just let me know if you can hear me all right. I know it's a little bit of a delay, so I'm giving y'all a moment because I want to make sure y'all can hear me. I'm excited. Thank you, Pastor Elect. Thank you. She said she can hear me perfectly. Bless the Lord. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We tried to have this conversation on Thursday. Nothing wanted to act right, and we were still having problems tonight. But God. So prayerfully, we'll be able to get through this entire conversation. Welcome to Community Splash Talk. Last time we gathered, um, we had a conversation about living single. And uh, we got a male's perspective. So tonight, we're going to get a female perspective. All right? Are y'all ready to get into the conversation? Y'all ready? All right. Let's get ready to have the conversation. All right,
Hello.
all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to bring on my very special guest. I'm so excited that my girlfriend is on with me all the way from Florida. Say hello, Mildred.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
I am super, super excited that you're able to be on with me tonight. You know, things didn't work out for us on Thursday. We tried for an hour.
Exactly. A long time. That was crazy.
Exactly. But I bless God that you were able to avail yourself this evening so that we can have the conversation. We want to talk
Yes.
about living single, but we want to get a female perspective. I'm married, so I can't get my perspective. Oh my goodness. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to ask you your first question. Is it difficult living single, being saved? Is it difficult?
I think it has its challenges. I don't think it's difficult. I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it does has its challenging because it's a whole different world than being married. When normally when you're single, you're always praying for that mate, or if you happen to see somebody with a mate, you're like, God, where's my mate? And the things that we ask God for, like it just, you're like, your struggles are like sometimes you don't want to struggle by yourself. So I
Mm,
wouldn't say difficult, but challenging.
challenging. Okay. So, would you say one of the biggest challenges is seeing your peers married or in relationship, or is it a physical challenge? Because we
Both.
like intimacy.
Yeah, both. It's both. It's seeing your peers married or seeing somebody, happily married and they having fun with their mate, you're like, okay, all right. But I think it's our mindset too, is that some people, single people, get kind of jealous or envious, but It's not to be envious or jealous. It's to say, I know if God, your thoughts are like, when you really, you serving God and you focused on God, it's that I know that God can do that for me. And the physical, your body go through changes, like me, you just talking about being vulnerable and stuff, and being around people when you're vulnerable. You don't want to be, I wouldn't want to be around the opposite sex if I know that I'm vulnerable to a point. So we have to also look at that, because people don't want to, a lot of people don't want to be honest with themselves when they're single. And I think that's a lot to do with it. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself, I do have feelings, Lord. I need help with this. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, you don't want to just go get involved with a lot of stuff and get caught in situations that you can't get out of.
Come on, tell me about this vulnerability and why you're saying you should not be around the opposite sex when you're vulnerable. What do you mean by vulnerable?
Like, we get feelings. I mean, every human being has a feeling. You get lonely. You get where you get a dependency that you want to be around somebody, and when you're married, it's really okay, because whatever leads into that situation of when you're married, God honors that and He respects that.
Are you talking about
But when you're
sex? Are you talking about sex?
No, I'm talking about stuff that leads into sex. See, we want to
Okay.
talk go straight to sex. I'm
Thank you.
talking about things that lead into sex.
All right. All right.
See,
Let's
and
get
these are
into
the
that.
things that we need to avoid. Because see, the sin is having sex, right? The sin is not. But when you grow into Christ, and I say this between growth, because when you failed a few times, and in my life I have failed a few times. Like I said, I'm totally honest about the situation. You have to be honest with yourself. When you fell into traps that you fell into before, everything is a learning experience. So what I'm saying is the leading into sex, the holding, the cuddling. I know I'm not right. I'm not feeling like, I'm tough today, or I'm strong like I'm supposed to be. I don't need to be around him. I need to tell him that we can't see each other. Something, you know,
Is it
to be
is it
honest with
hard to
myself.
tell, to say, listen, we need to take a step back. You don't need to spend some time together today. Is it hard to say that? Because
It's not hard to. It is when you're not secure with your secure with yourself.
okay,
When you're not being true to yourself.
okay,
But it's not when you're true to yourself. You're like, I can't do this right now.
okay.
I serve. I'm under. I love the Lord. I serve the Lord. And I know that fornication is not an issue. And then brothers would be like, "Well, we just holding." No, 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 no. I don't need to be around you right now. And I know what I'm saying to you. And I'm being honest with you. And I'm being honest with myself. See, the first thing is being honest with yourself.
Right, right.
And
Do you
whether you
think
accept my honesty or not, then I just, that is what it is.
do you think that um, partnership is pushed on you as a priority by others, or do you push it on yourself? Like, I've got to have somebody.
Some people do. Some people, like I say, insecurities. A lot of people feel like they gotta have a companion. They gotta, and I think we've all, some women have been. I've been there. I felt like I needed somebody in my life, but the truth is, we needed God at that time until God sent us somebody. But we're not willing to accept that, because we want to be, we women, we human beings. We want to be loved.
Mhm,
We want to be loved, and we want to be, we want to feel affection.
mhm.
But when you're not married, it's not good to get in that affectionate mode. Is what I'm trying to say before you get married.
Okay. So, what would you say to the unsaved young lady that is in that vulnerable position and she's feeling the pressure, a family, because, in certain cultures, if you're not married by a certain age, they begin to, tip the glasses at you. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. It is the absolute
I
truth.
very much. I know.
So, what do
And
you
you
say
see,
to that young lady?
you know, first of all, I would tell her to put a focus on God and get into God because you can get some help with God. You can't. A lot of times you can't do a lot of stuff by yourself. And when you're and pray because insecurities play a lot in our life, and it's not just because of a situation. It's probably a situation that came from your past that keep following you, and you haven't gotten rid of that insecurity. And then at certain times when people put pressure on you, you act out upon it. You know, I gotta go get me a man. I gotta. You don't have to have a man, but it's good. You know, we want as women, we want husbands,
Mm-hmm.
and husbands men want wives. You know, and we're human. God made Adam. When He made Adam, He gave Adam Eve. You know, it is what it is. But sometimes God wants to deal with us and get us straight. And a lot of times we don't want to straighten out. We don't want to get straight. We just want to go into something. And then when we get into it, it's not what we want. So what I would say to her is pray and ask God for guidance
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard out here now. It's even harder than it was when way back when Mama never was dating.
Yeah. Well, if you're just tuning in, it is Community Splash Top. I am your host, Queenie, and my guest today is Mildred, and we're talking about living single from her point of view. Uh, I want to invite you all to like, share, and invite somebody to meet us on this broadcast so we can get the word out. If you have any questions that you would like to ask Mildred, please put it in the chat. All right. My next question is do you feel like you're lacking anything because you're single?
Um, Companionship. Um, friendship that is, of the opposite sex. You do feel that way. I don't feel, my story, but I'm just saying, when you come, thinking is hard. When you come into the reality that you're single, I think if you get your focus right and you focus on God, you won't feel the lack so much. It won't be so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because you're focused and you know that God you're waiting on God, and you're looking to Him for answers and things, and you know that He always tell us that He will meet our need, and that thing, you got to stay focused.
Mm-hmm.
If your focus is off, yes, you will feel the lack. You'll feel it heavy.
Okay. Do you feel that your singleness is your choice or that God chose you for singleness?
Some of it may have been my choice, and I say that
Okay.
because of past relationships hurt. Don't trust nobody, don't want to trust because, I just don't feel like you can trust anybody because of past relationships and hurt, being broken, feeling like, you're less of a person sometimes when you get out of relationships. Other relationships, when I say other relationships, I need to put this in here because people think I'm just talking. I was married, so when I say other relationships, I did have a husband. So I don't want to take it out of context. I'm just talking about we just randomly having relationships with people.
Yeah.
So no, when you come from, because what I don't, what people don't realize is abuse is not just a physical thing.
Mm.
It could be a mental thing, an emotional thing. And when you're coming out of things like that, it's hard to trust. It's hard to say, okay, I'm going to believe this man when you've been let down so many times and time after time, So I would say part of it is mine. And the other one, it might be some more of mine because I may not be ready.
Mm-hmm.
We have to also, sometimes we think we're ready when we're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
God be trying to get us ready, So.
Right. Right. Now, you talked about you had a husband. Can you please clarify what happened with you and your husband, please?
What parts?
You don't have to go through the whole relationship, but how did it, you know, you divorced, widowed, like when?
Widow. He did die. He died.
Okay,
He passed away. My husband
okay.
did pass away.
I want to clarify that so they know, because I
Okay.
don't want nobody to think you got divorced and now you're speaking from this kind of broken place.
Yeah.
Because I believe that when you talk about the brokenness and the hurt and the abuse, um, that was things that you went through during your marriage. And even though God chose to take him away, it still doesn't negate or dismiss that experience that you had.
True.
Now, what do you say to the woman who is in an abusive relationship? And she's loving hard. She's loving real hard. But the relationship isn't meaning her any good. What could you say to her to encourage her to get out?
I would say, um, a lot of times we work on our emotions and our heart because we love so hard and we love so much that we don't see the trauma that we're actually experiencing. We see the physical. We don't see the inside stuff that we went through. And I would say, God is the answer. I didn't. I want to say I went through a lot with my husband because I loved my husband. I don't. He may have loved me in some kind of way, but in myself, I don't feel like he did.
Okay.
And being married to a man of that stature, you really need to reevaluate yourself, your self esteem, and everything because all of that plays into it. Like I say, some stuff we get in, some marriages and stuff we get into because of past stuff that has lowered our self esteem, has made us feel like we're not worthy, has made us feel like we just, we're not able to be to even do anything right sometimes. But we put the best on the outside at all times. I'm just glad that God brought me through it. And I want to say this: we talking about single and husband. My husband was also an unsaved man.
Mm.
And when you're married to an unsaved man, let's do this. The devil used him triple bad. And you want to make sure when you're single that when you decide to get married, that you know who's leading that man. Because who's leading that man can either take you up or take you down. And the reason I say that is because even in the vows, it says, "Your God is my God." If you get deep with the vows and stuff, and I realize, you know, if his God is not God and his God is the devil, then you don't want his God. You don't want to be a part of that. And like I say, it's a lot to coming from that. But when you're marrying somebody who don't believe in God and don't is not connected with God, and you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, because your core values are vastly different,
Yes.
very vastly different. Um, do you think that because you said you was married to an unsaved man, do you think we as women um, sometimes are attracted to bad boys? You know, the ones that aren't
My
saved?
Yeah. My situation was different. I knew him from what we then let me do this too. I knew him from before, but
Okay,
he wasn't the person that I knew that I married. Okay.
got
So what we don't realize is time in between somebody you once knew and now could be detrimental to your situation.
That's good.
And being in a state of vulnerability, I think I had been saved for about 10 years, lonely. You get that feeling of loneliness. I mean, and then people making you feel like you said about not feeling like you ain't, because you ain't got no husband, or you like, don't nobody want you. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you can't fall into that trap, because what people saying and how people live, people change their minds and their tones, and their mouth can say anything. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't even know how bad they're living. You know what I'm saying? How their marriage is. They might make it look good, but it may not be good.
Mm-hmm.
And then all at the same time, they're trying to make you feel bad and fall into that rut that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions for Mildred about singleness, living single, please put it in the chat. All right. We welcome your questions as well as your comments. If you just have a comment, we want that too. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit. Where are the single men? Where are they? Where are they? Because I hear, the single ladies in my church, they're saying there's no single men. I don't know where to find them. Is it online dating? Is it church? Should they put themselves in compromising atmospheres? Like going to
You
a bar or a club, or where
you
are
would
they?
think you would think they would be some good ones in church, but even church would.
Uh oh.
Even church has its challenges, because these brothers, I don't know what they're thinking. Mm-mm.
So where
Mm,
are they?
I don't know.
Have you ever tried online dating?
Once or twice. I don't do it long, because I'm not a person. Mm-mm.
Did you have a
I'm
bad
afraid.
experience with online dating?
No, I just some online data, they want too much information ahead of time, and I'm not with all that. I'll tell you about
Okay.
me when you see me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you don't want to do a lot of exchanging online. You rather y'all meet
Yeah.
up and exchange in
Yeah,
person.
no, on the phone. We talking on the phone. I don't
Okay.
like all my information. People like they want to know this and that, and it to me, it's like, what's your motive behind wanting to know this and that? And we haven't even talked for the. You don't even know if you gonna even like me before you meet me. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's a lot of information to exchange to me.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm gonna like you for give you all my information.
So you still didn't answer my question. Where are the single men?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Okay.
I can't answer your
All
question.
right.
I can't.
All right. So let me ask you this. Is it okay for the woman to be the aggressor towards picking up a man?
I don't think it's ladylike. Me
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'm old school, so I
Okay.
have that reservation. Mm-mm. I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that? Okay. Okay. So since you said you're old school, how long does it take you to commit?
To what?
To commit. You find a guy, you like him. How long does it take for you to commit?
Ooh. Uh, I don't. I'm not sure. I wouldn't commit right away. That's like you just commit and you don't know nobody like that. I don't know him like that.
Okay.
I would rather be led, and however God leads.
All right. So we got one question here. Why don't you agree with the woman being the aggressor?
Because a lot of reason is because a lot of men ain't really they get kind of scared about that. But some men do, they get scared like, why is she so aggressive? Me myself, like I said, I'm old school, And I would rather feel the fact that he is interested in me without me saying anything. I would want to know that his interest was in me first
Okay,
and
so
not mine and him.
do you think if the woman is the aggressor towards the man, he may not be pure in his motives for responding to her? He might be taking advantage of her.
Say that again.
Do you think that if the woman is aggressive, towards dating a man, that his response could have ill intent? Like, like, oh, she's on me, so I'm just going to use her for whatever she
Yeah,
got, or
with the
take
flow. Yeah,
advantage of the situation.
yeah. But then you got that scripture in the Bible where it say, "A man who finds a wife finds a good thing." That one. So that's what I. For
Okay,
real.
okay, okay. Good
He ain't told
question.
me to look for nobody. He didn't tell me to look for nobody. So
Okay,
that man to find the wife finds a good thing. So yeah.
but that single woman who's not safe may not share that same approach. She might feel like, because I mean, this is the 21st century.
I know she
And
feel like she's running out of time. I get it. I get it.
not
And
only
that's
that, but, you know, I think women today feel like I'm every woman. I can go after whatever it is that I want. So if they see a man they're interested in him, uh, they may not see anything wrong with that, right?
yeah, I have to say to each his own. But I don't that doesn't make me agree with it. We
Okay,
have to agree to disagree. I don't agree with it.
okay. Um, a lot of times women want to have a lot of flexibility, um, so that they can juggle the multiple things that they have going on in their lives. Moms, they're business owners, plus they have a 9 to 5. They could be ministers in their church. But they're saying not being aggressive may just go and say hello and then let it go from there. That's what they're saying. Would you say hello to him if you thought he was cute?
I speak to everybody anyway. But no, I mean, you're asking me my opinion, but everybody got their own way of doing things. So I don't
Yeah.
wanna
So if you
you
seen
know,
somebody and he was fine, would you say hello?
I say it to myself. Good
Ah!
Lord. I went
I'm
I went
sorry.
good Lord. Jesus.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness.
Keep
They're
moving,
saying,
Sherry.
right? If he cute, we want to say hello and see where it goes. I mean, that's not being overly aggressive, right?
No,
Just saying
I
hello.
just yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to this other question. We want to have flexibility so that we can operate in the multiple things that we have going on in our lives. We're wives. Well, with y'all single. I'm sorry. You are a business owner. You work a regular 9 to 5. You're a mother. You could be a minister at your church. You're involved in quite a few activities. Would you say busyness is a reason women fail to connect with men?
Busyness, because normally it could go both ways. So normally when you're out and about, sometimes God put you in the way of certain situations, or you could just walk right into something. Now I'm busy, I would say no, but I know we're busy with a lot of stuff, so I don't know. I don't
Does
know. I
that
can't
does that
answer
keep
that.
you from dating? Does
Well,
being busy, is that an excuse or is it a reality? I'm too
actually,
busy to date.
being busy helps you stay out of trouble.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
and I say
Fair
that
enough.
because helps you not get caught up.
Okay.
But can stop you from dating? No, because I feel like as a woman or even in a man situation, if it's something you got caught your eye and you like it, you make time for it.
Okay. Now, do you think that because there's more women available than single men, men are messy. Like they try to mess with multiple women at one time, run game. Uh,
Mm.
you think a lot of men try to do that?
I think men of value. Let's do this. I think men of value that thing and value relationships. You may not find that with him, but a man who lives vicariously and doing what he wants to do, or they call it bachelor boom boom. Yeah, you'll find that with him.
How would you
But a
handle
man,
that?
but a man who knows what he wants, he gonna let you know he know what he wants.
Okay. How would you handle the bachelor, the forever bachelor? All he wants is to date and have a good time. How would you handle him?
But I just went through a situation, so um, I would say sometimes we have to make decisions with our mind instead of our heart. Because we can't get all mixed up in our emotions, and it's not, if you know he's seeing multiple women, that that's not for you. That's not God. To be honest, that's not God. That's not how God would. I don't believe the God that I serve would send me a man like that. Basically,
Do you think uh, men are capable of having honest and productive conversation?
yeah, that's that man I call a value. He values everything he doesn't. He ain't got time to play. He knows what he's looking for. He knows what kind of woman he wants, and he goes after it. And then you got them that, like I say, live vicariously, don't even care. They have lines, scheming, everything. All they want is what they want.
Do you think we as women want to be validated by men?
Some do. Some women have to be validated by men in order to be who they are. But when you take that stigma out of the way and realize that you're valuable, you're a strong woman. You are you know when you take that out, the stigma of being validated by men, and say, listen, I'm a good woman. I know who I am. Then you won't feel that you have to be validated by anybody other than God. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to get to that point of knowing who you are. And a lot of us don't really know who we are. That's why we get trapped in all that stuff. We haven't taken the time to find out what's really going on with us, who we really are, what really makes us who we are.
Do you
And
think a
we
lot
have
of
to,
single women suffer with that? Not really knowing who they are, what they want.
yeah. And I think that's a lot to do with dating and dealing with men for periods of time when this rascal ain't about to die.
I wasn't expecting you to say that, but okay. The rascal isn't about a dime.
He
Y'all,
ain't
y'all
about to
put that in the chat. The rascal isn't about a dime.
he ain't about nothing, and you spending all your time fooling with this man. It ain't about nothing. It's because of your self esteem, because you don't know what you really want, and you're willing to. And a desperate woman. I told somebody this. When you're vulnerable, you can get so vulnerable that you can become desperate
Mm.
for attention, for somebody's presence, and when you get to that state, it kind of takes over because you're letting yourself get to that point. And that's why I say vulnerability, you kill it at the head, because if you don't, it'll emasculate to something way bigger than what you can even expect. You don't want to be a woman that feel like you're desperate, or you're in some kind of desperation form. And I've seen a lot of women act out of desperation. So that's what I mean by what I'm saying. And you can't, and then that's kind of scary though.
Do you think that women emotionally connect to men too soon?
Sometimes, yes.
Why do women do that? Why do you think women do that?
Because it's how I want to say it. It's something missing in her that she's trying to get out of him, but she's looking for it in the wrong place.
Hmm. Do you think we as women need to do a little bit more self work before we start
Yes,
dating?
yes, yes,
What
definitely.
would you What would you say are three things we need to work on?
As women,
Yes.
motivating ourselves. Even when you feel like you ain't topped out, girl, I'm beautiful today, girl. What? Um, Encouraging ourselves, motivating and encouraging, and let people, when you walk with confidence, talk with confidence. Don't let a situation bring you to the point where you got to say, oh, no, I'm not this today and not that today. And I had to learn that one because I'd be like, child, I'm, we making it, but I'm blessed. God has blessed me, and take ourselves out, treat ourselves to something, make us feel important, allow ourselves to, you don't you can't expect somebody else to do what you won't do for yourself. A lot of times we get into that where we want other people to do what we want to, or we looking for happiness in that person, when our joy comes from God, and we can make our own self happy. You know, it doesn't take much. I could buy my own clothes. I want a companion, a helpmate, a husband. We don't want somebody that's just gonna be a pair of pants and just sitting there.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So the question is, do you think uh, do you think it may have something to do with not having a father figure in her life? Why she emotionally connects to men too soon?
It could be. Some of it could be. Um, uh, it's just to me, it's just a dry spell, dry space. It could be something that happened in her life that she's trying to deal with, or it's it's like I don't want to say a curse, but something that needs to be broken in her life, that to make her feel that she's worthy. Because it doesn't have to be always the father. It could be something that um, right now I see a lot of broken girls, because not just of their father, because of their mothers. So
Wow.
I don't just put it on that.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I deal with a lot of teenagers, so you know, it's something could happen in their past that makes them feel like that they need something that they really don't need, or they're lacking because of that, or they're insecure because of that. It could be a rape. It could be somebody done sexually abused them, or it could be anything that sort of somebody that they really trusted betrayed them. Because you know how we are as women. When you betray us, that's like, oh my God.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I don't
Wow.
want to just father figure.
Wow. That's something because you said it could be the mother, and a lot of times we as women don't even realize our dysfunctional or non existent relationship with our mother could impact how we cling to men.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that when she finds a good man, that women have a tendency to self sabotage?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I can say that. We don't want to, when you've been through a lot, and like I said, been broken, been tore up, mentally, emotionally abused, you're through. Yeah, sometimes you feel like that all men are like that. But if you keep the faith and trust God that He can, you know, you don't ever want to get to the point where all you feel like all men are the same and you just can't trust nobody. Because there is some men out here that actually want a good woman and they want a saved woman and they want somebody who's gonna be there for them and be with them. So you can't let that blind you. But yeah, there is some people we do, some women, some situations, we think it's a lost cause. That next man just like him. But it ain't always true. And then we'll self sabotage. I don't want him. I've been there, done that
Mm.
one.
Do you think they begin to withdraw from engaging in a relationship with a man at the first sign of something they experienced in the past, or?
Yes, because I just went through that. I remember the first sign of deception. I was like done,
Mm.
and it was just we hadn't even got to the relationship part. We was just talking, and the first sign of deception, I just withdrew. I was like, oh no, because I have to trust you. If I can't trust you, I don't need to be with you. And when you have a husband or wife, you want to be able to trust that person.
Mhm.
That's important because that's your mate. That's the other part of you.
Do you think it's important for, as a single woman going into a relationship with a gentleman, that you're treated as his equal? Like you go out on a date, do you want him to pay? Do we split the bill? Do you pay?
Well, I'm like this. If I'm going out with you, now I can pay for my meal, but I feel like it'll be more gentleman like if you pay for it. I'm just gonna be honest. And if we've been going out a while, I'll pay for a meal. I'll say, hey, this one's on me.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you think single women should buy things for the man and he's not giving her anything?
That's absolutely not done that. No, no, they ain't even worthy of your dollar when they ain't doing what they supposed to do. No, all your time. No. So you be done bought all that stuff. That's why people be breaking people windows out of stuff. When you keep your money in your pocket and see how it's going first. Mm-mm.
Wow. You said they be
I'm
breaking the
serious.
windows out the car?
The women be breaking the windows out the men car because they done bought them all that stuff and doing flattening tires and everything. But if you had kept your money in your pocket, you wouldn't be doing all that. Some women buy men cars and everything, and they ain't even married. I'm like, you got to be out your mind. Then you want to go sabotage it because you found him with seven. No.
Do you think when you know the relationship is over, you should give back everything he bought for you?
No, absolutely not.
What if he asks for it back?
First of all, he ain't got no business asking for it back because he bought it for me. Okay, let's do this. I'm not gonna ask him for any that I bought him back. So no, absolutely not. If I just want to give it back to you, fine. But you asking me for it back, Charlie? You didn't mean to give it to me in the first place.
Wow.
For real.
Wow. Do you think that women are looking for to feel safe or supported by men?
Some women, some, relationships, and like I say, failures, and all of that is a life lesson. And you realize that the most important thing is that after a while, when you find somebody, or when somebody finds you, let's say that, because I don't want to keep saying find nobody, because the Bible said, man, to find the wife, find a good thing. Um, Focusing on money and all of that is really not a thing for me. I mean, I appreciate it, but my focus is on how you treat me. My focus is on, you know, how how you talk to me, how we conversate, those kind of things. Are we compatible? Um, do we have same goals, or you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That should be the focus, because you can have all the money in the world, could be it could not be any good. Period. Any marital good. Then you stuck with a man. You done married this, and you stuck with this man because of his money. Mm-mm.
That's good. All right. What are some ways to establish trust when you have been hurt, you have, been broken, you have been taken advantage of? What are some ways that, you know, a single woman could begin to establish trust in that suitor that is pursuing her?
His consistency. Um, and I don't want to throw money in there, but if you can trust him with some money, because you can't trust everybody with no money. If you can trust him with some money, and you know I'm not lying,
Oh my goodness.
you can trust my consistency.
Oh my
I
goodness.
decide by consistency. If you can lay some $3, man, and you all right, you might have yourself something there.
Okay.
That could be. I'm telling you, you can't trust the average person with money. If he can be trusted with money, you know you can trust him. Why you laugh?
You said if you can trust her with some money. Just, let, I'm going to ask the, listen, if y'all have a question for Mildred, please put it in the chat so she can answer it. Or if you have a comment, we're open to all questions and comments. I'm going to ask this question. Do you think sometimes single women lower their standards just to have anybody,
A
even if it
companion,
isn't the
yes.
right body?
A pair of pants, yes. Some women do. Some women do. You done heard that story to my. And he can fix him up if he ain't. Child, please. What I got to fix him up for? He a man. You done heard him talking about whatever. As long as you get a man, you can fix him up how you want him. Why do I have to go through that extremities?
Wow.
But he should come ready. He should come fixed up.
He should be
I
bringing
don't.
something to the table.
Yeah, he should be able to add to your life, not take away.
That
Add.
okay. What are some ways that would show that he's adding to your life and not taking?
Things that he just do out of the norm that he would not, that you would not get from a regular man. Like um, basically, he called. First of all, he's calling. He's making sure that you're okay. He's engaging, trying to engage. Trying to let you know that he is here for real. And by doing that, checking on you, making sure everything okay. Trying to be involved. You know, he don't want to push his way in, but he trying to let you know that he wants to be involved in your life. He wants to be a part of your life. He wants to share that part of your life, and he wants to learn about you. A lot of men, we get men, they don't want to learn nothing about us. They don't care about how we feel or what what's important to us. But when you get that man that's consistent on his focus is trying to make things right for you or better for you, and while you're talking, he's already thinking how he gonna solve your problem. And you're not thinking nothing about it, and then all of a sudden the thing that you're looking for, he's already done it.
Okay. All right. Is there any last thought you would want to leave this conversation with for the
Be
single man?
prayer. My thing is be prayerful, and don't be afraid to don't be afraid to talk to a person, or don't be so skeptical about them that you so ready to just when they come like I don't want to talk to you. I just don't want to bother. And because a lot of times what we like or what we want, God don't want for us. And I've learned that through my life. I've wanted stuff God like that is not it. That is that. And then the things that God sent us, we be like we don't want. But take a chance. Listen to that person. Talk to that person. Get to know that person and see where their head is at. But always be prayerful.
Okay. Well, I certainly thank you for sharing openly and honestly today. We've had quite a few chuckles because, that rascal ain't worth a dime. That right there, I gotta take that one with me.
You
gotta
worth a
take
dime.
that. Gotta take that with me. I do. I really, really appreciate you making time today because I know we was really supposed to do this on Friday. Things didn't work out, so I appreciate you making time for us this Sunday afternoon so that we can have a conversation about being single from a woman's perspective. From a woman's
And I hope
perspective.
I've said something that can help somebody. I don't know. It's just my opinion, my thought. You don't have to follow anything I say, but I'm just saying. My thing is be prayerful and listen to God. Sometimes we listen to ourselves. We talking about that God. That ain't God. Or sometimes we see the red flags, but we don't want to listen. Listen to Father. Listen to our Father.
Well, they're saying thank you in the chat. So you said something that resonated with them today.
Okay. All righty.
All right. Thank you, sis. I really appreciate you.
See y'all later. I thank y'all for allowing me this moment. Always an honor to do something for the Lord.
Amen. Amen.
All right. See you later.
Bye bye. We thank you for joining today. I pray that you were blessed by this conversation and that you got some information that is really, really useful for you going forward as being a single woman. My part in
Yes.
comments is this: value you like God values you. And if
Exactly.
anybody that comes in your life and they're not valuing you at the same standard you are or greater, as my Pastor Andrews used to say in Florida, tell them to kick rocks with no shoes on.
And that hurts.
I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you
All
next
right.
time.
All right. Love you too. Love you is crazy. You is crazy.